Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into Anakin's early time as Darth Vader right after Revenge of the Sith. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. So this takes place right after Vader got his suit and he was talking to the Emperor about failing to save Padme, as Vader attempted to unsuccessfully strangle him with the Force. Responded that in death, Padme had provided Vader a gift, pain. The Emperor continued by giving Vader a choice, to either accept and use that gift, or to die. At a moment, Vader replied that he would live. The Emperor then immediately launched a barrage of Force lightning at his apprentice, and demanded that Vader use the power of his lightsaber to defend himself. But Vader replied that his lightsaber had been taken by Kenobi at the conclusion of their duel. As Palpatine continued, the Emperor angrily shouted that the weapon Vader spoke of was not his, and that it belonged to a Jedi, and Vader was now a Sith. Ceasing his Force-based assault, the Emperor drew on his own lightsaber. He put the blade to Vader's throat and stated that he understood how traumatic the last few days had been, but he warned that Vader should ever use the Force against him again. He would finish what Kenobi could not. The Emperor then deactivated his weapon, and stated that, as friends, he hoped the two of them would never find themselves in a similar situation. He instructed Vader to put aside his rage and lust for revenge against the Jedi for the time being, for the two of them had a great deal of work to accomplish in their new empire. Immediately after his surgery, the Emperor took Vader to a balcony overlooking the old Jedi temple. There, he and Vader watched as Mas Amedda directed a ceremonial burning of the lightsabers of all the Jedi who had been killed in the temple. As they listened to Mas Amedda, the Emperor asked if his apprentice knew how or why Sith lightsabers were red. Vader replied that he did not, as the temple's information on the subject had been incomplete. Sidious laughed, and then mused that the Jedi had been uncomfortable with the information and had buried it as a result. He explained that kyber crystals felt pain, just like any living being, and they could be made to bleed, after a fashion by pouring rage, pain, and hate into them. He asked Vader if he understood, to which Vader replied that he did, stating that he would have given him any of the burning Jedi lightsabers to corrupt, even Yoda's, but he had not, as Vader realized that the crystal of a Sith lightsaber should be taken directly from a Jedi by that Sith. As the ceremony progressed, the clone troopers attending the vent threw a basket full of various lightsabers into the incinerator, including Yoda's. The lightsabers caught on fire, and a moment later, a powerful blast of energy was released into the air, as the kyber crystals were destroyed. Afterward, the Emperor brought Vader to Gathering in the Mid-Rim, and assigned him the task of hunting down a Jedi to take the kyber crystal. The Emperor took his apprentice to a site where he had arranged for a starship to be delivered for Vader's use, but the ship had been stolen by a group of pirates. Leaving Vader to reclaim the vessel, the Emperor departed, and Vader struck out for the planet's nearest settlement on foot. Once there, he eliminated the group of pirates who had stolen the ship, and traveled to the Jedi outpost, Brighthelm. The station was garrisoned by a group of clone troopers, who noted Vader's appearance and hailed him. Though he could have provided the security codes necessary to secure the clone troopers' assistance, Vader decided instead to simply kill them. During the fight, Vader summoned a green-bladed lightsaber from the wall to kill most of the clone troopers. After exterminating the garrison, Vader tasked the droid co-pilot of his ship to search through the station's archives for data on any Jedi who had taken the bearish vow prior to Order 66. Vader's hope was that any Jedi who had taken the vow, one of complete non-interference in all Jedi affairs, would have not only out of harm's way when Order 66 was issued, but would have ignored its occurrence in accordance with the vow. The search identified Jedi Master Kirikin Fila, a Jedi who had completely dedicated to combat in the exclusion of all else. When a grenade was thrown at him by two surviving clones, Ding and Kicker, he managed to contain the explosion, which the clones believed would make him unable to do anything else, as all his concentration was diverted on freezing the explosion. As they talked of how they would restrain and bring in what they believed was just another Jedi survivor before the Emperor in hopes of being rewarded, Vader proved their beliefs that he was too preoccupied with the explosive to be false by telekinetically throttling the clones and breaking their necks, before walking far enough away from the explosion to release it. Vader quickly located the Jedi on the river moon of Aldalim, and sensed as he disembarked his ship that Infila was waiting for him. The Jedi Master immediately confronted Vader, and was seized in a force choke by the Dark Lord. However, Infila released a force blast at Vader, which staggered him and disrupted his concentration. Infila declared his barrage to be complete, and began to ascend the mountain upon which he lived, calling out to Vader to follow if he could. One of the Jedi Master's training droids, Eric's, then opened a gate, which sent a river of water crashing down upon Vader. The Sith Lord was visibly battered by the rush of water, but managed to telekinetically part the river and walk to the shore. He was then set upon by a group of gigantic carnivorous birds, which damaged one of his cybernetic legs. Vader eventually crushed them all with the Force, and made his way to the peak of the mountain. There, he found Infila and Eric's waiting for him. Vader quickly unleashed a Force push that blasted Infila off his feet and dazed him long enough for Vader, who was unarmed, to destroy Eric's and take the droid's training saber. He threw the droid off the mountain and engaged Infila, who sensed that Vader not only wanted to kill him, but wanted to take his lightsaber as well. However, Vader's previously damaged leg broke apart at the knee in short time into the duel, rendering him unable to continue the fight. Infila then declared his intention to seek out Sidious and to kill him, and blasted Vader off the top of the mountain with the Force. Regaining consciousness, Vader used the Force to reassemble his cybernetic limbs with the dismembered pieces of Eric's, who coincidentally had landed near where Vader had fallen. He then tracked Infila to Ambalar City, where he re-engaged the astonished Jedi Master. Fighting atop the city dam, the two crossed blades until the duel was interrupted by a trio of security guards. Annoyed, Vader telekinetically flung the guards from the top of the dam, but Infila caught them and used the Force to lower them to safety. Infila then shouted at Vader not to involve anyone else in their duel, but Vader instead took advantage of Infila's concern for innocence by ripping apart a building-sized water storage tank situated in the city below. As Infila attempted without success to use his own powers to stop the destruction, Vader telekinetically removed the Jedi's lightsaber from his belt and claimed it for his own. He then grabbed Infila in a force choke and lifted him from the dam. Infila pleaded with Vader to spare the civilians below the dam, but Vader ignored him. As the enormous tank burst completely, flooding the city, Vader crushed Infila's throat with the Force and tossed his body into the wreckage below. After obtaining a Jedi lightsaber and the kyber crystal within, Vader reboarded his ship, where the droid co-pilot seized control of the vessel and jumped to hyperspace. The droid then began to play a pre-recorded message from the Emperor to Vader. The message said, per the Emperor's instructions, the droid had plotted a course to the planet Mustafar, where Vader would find a dark side locus, which he could use to help him corrupt the kyber crystal. As the message concluded, Vader touched down on Mustafar and quickly found the locus of the Emperor, an ancient Sith shrine within a shallow cavern. There, he disassembled Infila's lightsaber on a small flat rock formation and removed the kyber crystal. However, when he attempted to corrupt it, the crystal resisted and used the Force to send Vader careening into one of the cavern walls. The crystal then caused Vader to experience a vision, wherein he rejected the dark side, went to Coruscant, and killed Palpatine. In the vision, Vader then found Obi-Wan and begged for his forgiveness, as he knelt in contrition in front of his former master. Obi-Wan called out to Vader by his former name, Anakin. Upon hearing this, Vader snapped out of his vision and firmly rejected the possibility shown to him by the crystal, declaring that life as a Sith was all that he could be after everything he had done. He then began to pour his hatred, pain, and rage into the crystal. As the planet around the cave was consumed in a violent storm, Vader succeeded in corrupting the crystal. Afterwards, Vader returned to Coruscant and stormed into the Emperor's office during the middle of a discussion between Tarkin, Masameda, and the Emperor regarding the construction of the Death Star. As Vader was completely unknown to anyone other than Palpatine at the time, the royal guards in the Emperor's office attempted to intercept him, only to be blasted back into the office's large window. Seeing Vader, the Emperor dismissed both Tarkin and Amida, the former of whom expressed concern for his safety. Reassuring Tarkin, the Emperor repeated his command, and the two Imperial officials departed, leaving Vader to display "Here I Can Feel His Lightsaber," emitting a crimson blade to the Emperor in triumph, thereby affirming his status as a Sith apprentice. Shortly after returning to his master, Vader retired to a medical chamber so his damaged cybernetic components could be repaired. As Vader floated within the bacta tank, the Emperor congratulated him for taking his first steps to the mastery of the dark side. Although Vader was angered when he learned a group of droids would be fixing his suit. Sensing as much, the Emperor allowed Vader to repair his armor on his own, and informed him that there was a new mission to undertake. From his bacta tank, Vader guided the service tools with the Force to repair his armor to his liking. At least one of Eric's pieces would remain in Vader's armor for years to come, filling in part of his knee joint. As a residence, Vader was given a personal suite on Coruscant, where he was served by a cloaked assistant. As he repaired his helmet, having repaired and donned the rest of his suit by then, Vader was informed of an intruder in the Jedi Temple archives. He confronted the intruder, who wielded a red lightsaber. As the two fought each other, the intruder appeared to take the advantage, but after a time, Vader revealed that he had simply been testing the modifications that he had recently made to his armor, and promptly destroyed the intruder's lightsaber. As Vader went in for the kill, the Emperor arrived and told him that the intruder, titled the Grand Inquisitor, was part of the Inquisitorius. Vader was then taken to the Works, where Vader saw the rest of the Inquisitorius training themselves. Vader was told that most of the Inquisitorius were Jedi who converted to the dark side in the wake of the Order's destruction in order to save themselves. As they overlooked the dark side agents, Vader inquired if the Grand Inquisitor would have taken his place as a Sith apprentice should he have lost the duel, but soon declared that there had been no chance of the lesser agent winning. Vader and the Inquisitorius were given the mission to hunt down and finish off surviving Jedi of the Emperor's Purge. Given the mission to train the Inquisitorius and agreeing to do it the right way, Vader dueled the sixth brother in a training session and cut off his arm in order to teach him about loss. Vader then spoke with the Grand Inquisitor about improving the Inquisitorius training methods. They began to search for other Jedi that survived the Purge. Vader saw the Inquisitor's target list and noticed the Jedi Archive's chief librarian Jocasta Nu on it. He asked the Emperor what was so important about her. The Emperor explained that she had knowledge of the Sith, and that she and the Jedi Council had kept it secret. The Emperor told Vader to find her and to bring her to him. Vader assigned the Grand Inquisitor to search the archive for more information on her. And that's it for this video. I'll cover the hunt for Jocasta Nu in the next one. So what'd you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.